Dean Ambrose returns to WWE and brutally attacks Seth Rollins. Full breakdown. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we've got some truly surprising and heartwarming news from the WWE Universe. WWE Universe, it finally happened. After years away, after walking away from the machine, after rebuilding himself as Jon Moxley in AEW, the Lunatic Fringe is back in WWE. But no one could have predicted what happened next. Dean Ambrose returned, not as a savior, not as a hero, but as a storm of chaos. And his first target, his former Shield brother, Seth Rollins. What caused this brutal assault? Why now? And what does this mean for the WWE landscape moving forward? Stay tuned as we break down everything you need to know about this shocking return of Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose's history. Before we dive into the madness of what just went down, let's rewind the clock. Dean Ambrose, real name Jonathan Good, was one of WWE's most electric, unpredictable stars. He debuted in 2012 alongside Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins as The Shield, a faction that changed WWE forever. Ambrose brought a chaotic energy that made him instantly stand out. Whether it was jumping off ladders, smashing through tables, or cutting raw, edgy promos, he was WWE's wildcard. After The Shield dissolved, Ambrose climbed the ranks. He became WWE Champion, Intercontinental Champion, and United States Champion. But by 2018, cracks began to show. His creative frustrations boiled over. Promos that didn't make sense. Storylines that felt forced. And worst of all, a character that was being neutered by scripted nonsense. In 2019, Dean Ambrose let his contract run out. On April 30th of that year, he was officially done. But within days, he re-emerged as Jon Moxley, and entered AEW with a vengeance. There, he thrived. No script, no leash, just chaos. But even as Moxley found success, something always lingered. A connection, unfinished business, especially with one man, Seth Rollins. The current WWE landscape. Fast forward to 2025, WWE has changed. Triple H is running creative. Roman Reigns' bloodline era is slowly crumbling. Seth Rollins, now calling himself the Visionary, is at the top of Monday Night Raw. He's a world champion, a locker room leader, and a man reborn. His persona, lavish robes, orchestral entrances, and an ego that fills arenas. But with great success comes a bigger target. Seth's recent alignment with Paul Heyman sent shockwaves through the WWE Universe. Turning his back on the fans and forming a dangerous alliance, Rollins reminded the world he's always willing to do whatever it takes to stay on top. Which made what happened this past Monday night even more insane. The return. It started like any other episode of Raw. Seth Rollins came out for a routine celebration. The music, the pyro, the crowd, half cheering, half booing. Seth stood in the middle of the ring, clutching his championship, basking in the spotlight. He grabbed the mic and began mocking the locker room. He said, quote, "There's no one left. Roman, gone. Cody, vanished. Sammy, broken. I am the last man standing. The Visionary, the Revolution, the king of this kingdom." Suddenly, the lights flickered. The crowd murmured. A strange static hit the screen. Then, darkness. A lone video began to play. Grainy, scratched footage of a prison cell. Chains. Blood splattered on the walls. And then, one word etched into steel: lunatic. The arena exploded. The commentators, Corey Graves and Michael Cole, shouted over each other, "No way. This can't be happening." The camera cut back to the ring, and from the crowd, hood up, black jacket, combat boots, Dean Ambrose slid into the ring with a crowbar in hand. Rollins turned around, and boom, Ambrose swung the crowbar into Seth's ribs. The crowd lost their minds. This wasn't a return, it was a declaration of war. The brutal attack. Dean didn't stop, not even close. He pounced on Rollins like a wild animal. Mounted punches, elbow strikes. Blood began to trickle from Seth's forehead. Paul Heyman tried to run down the ramp, but Ambrose turned and locked eyes with him. Heyman froze, backed up. Ambrose slowly pulled out a pair of handcuffs and chained Seth to the ropes. Then, he left the ring, and pulled a steel chair, a trash can, and a bag full of thumbtacks out from under the ring. Rollins begged. "Dean, stop. This isn't you." But Ambrose just muttered, "You never knew who I was." And then, chaos. He slammed the trash can over Seth's head, kicked him in the gut, poured the thumbtacks into the ring, and then delivered dirty deeds right onto the tacks. Rollins screamed in agony. Security rushed out, but Ambrose held them at bay with the crowbar. He stood over Rollins, breathing heavily, eyes wild, shirt drenched in sweat. "I told you," he whispered. "I never forgot." Then, he dropped the mic, and walked away, leaving a battered Seth Rollins in the ring. The commentary team reacts. Michael Cole, nearly speechless, tried to make sense of it all. Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley, whoever he is now, has just shattered everything we thought we knew. Corey Graves added, "This isn't just a return. This is revenge." Seth Rollins, he might have just awakened a monster. Backstage, chaos reigned. Paul Heyman was screaming for legal action. Triple H was seen on a call with
Seth
security,
Rollins being
demanding
in critical
Ambrose
condition
be
after
removed
a
from the
brutal
building
assault
by
immediately.
Dean Ambrose.
What LED
Hey
to
everyone,
this?
welcome
So
back.
why did Dean
Today
Ambrose
we've got
return
some
now?
truly surprising
And why
and
target
heartwarming
Seth
news
Rollins?
from the WWE
Well,
Universe.
the answer might go all the
Seth
way
Rollins
back to
in critical
2018.
condition after being
The night
brutally
Roman
assaulted by
Reigns
Dean
announced he
Ambrose
had
on
leukemia,
WWE.
and the very same night,
Welcome
Seth
back
and Dean
to the
won the
channel,
tag titles,
wrestling
only
fans.
for Ambrose to
Tonight,
turn on Rollins
we dive
minutes
into
later.
one of the most shocking
Dean's
and
words
devastating
back
moments
then were
in
chilling.
WWE
You're
history.
gonna have to answer
Seth
for your
Rollins
sins.
left in critical condition
But what
after a
sins?
brutal
Many
backstage
believe
assault by none
Ambrose
other than
felt
Dean
used,
Ambrose.
manipulated.
This brutal
That Seth
attack
treated
has
him
sent
like a
shockwaves
pawn.
through the WWE
And when the Shield
Universe,
reunited,
raising
it wasn't
questions
for
about the
brotherhood,
future
it
of
was
one
for
of the
business.
company's top superstars.
Fast
and the
forward
dark
to
motives
2025,
behind Dean Ambrose's
and Rollins
violent
now
outburst.
reigns with the same
In
manipulative
this video,
cunning.
we'll unpack
Aligning
every
with
detail
Paul
of the
Heyman,
attack,
turning
the
on
fallout
his own
backstage,
allies,
the reactions
maybe
from
Ambrose
fellow
saw
superstars,
history
and
repeating
what this
itself.
means for
Or
WWE
maybe
moving
it was
forward.
never about business.
Stay tuned.
Maybe Ambrose
the history
just
between
never
Seth
forgave
Rollins
Rollins
and
for
Dean
abandoning
Ambrose.
who they were.
To fully
Backstage
understand
fallout,
the gravity of
the
this
footage
attack,
from
we
backstage
must
was
first
even
look
more
back
intense.
at the complex and
Dean
volatile
Ambrose
history
stormed
between
through the
Seth
corridors,
Rollins and Dean
pushing
Ambrose.
over equipment,
Once
snarling at
brothers
crew.
in arms as members
Triple
of the
H
legendary
confronted
Shield
him in the
faction,
hallway.
Rollins
"You
and
don't
Ambrose
work
shared
here."
an intense
Hunter
bond,
growled,
delivering
Ambrose
countless
got in
classic
his
moments
face.
in WWE.
Then fire me again.
However,
I'll still burn
as their
it down.
paths diverged,
Security
tensions
finally
grew,
pulled Ambrose
rivalries
away,
flared,
but the
and
damage
old
was done.
friendships turned bitter.
Seth Rollins was taken
Fans
to a
witnessed
local
years
medical
of rivalry,
facility with
from
multiple
iconic
lacerations
matches
to
to bitter
suspected
promos,
bruised
but
ribs.
nothing prepared the
WWE
WWE
Universe
for the
has not
savage
yet
assault that
confirmed
took
his
place
condition.
recently.
Paul Heyman
The
later
lead up to
appeared
the
on Raw
assault,
Talk
over the
visibly
past
shaken.
few weeks,
Dean
backstage
Ambrose as a
reports
cancer,
indicated
he said,
escalating hostility
and I promise
between
you,
Seth and Dean.
Seth Rollins will make
Ambrose
him pay.
had been acting increasingly
WWE
erratic,
locker room
making
reaction.
cryptic statements and
Social
avoiding
media
direct
blew up.
confrontation.
Stars from
Until the
across
night
the
of the attack,
WWE roster
sources
reacted to
suggest
Ambrose's shocking
was
return.
fueled by jealousy,
Roman
resentment,
Reigns
and
via
deep personal
Instagram
grudges
story,
against
"I told
Rollins,
you," culminating
some
in a
ghosts
plan
never
to take
rest.
matters into
Cody
his own
Rhodes
hands.
on X.
The
Welcome
night
home.
of the brutal
Even
assault,
if you brought hell
it was
with
supposed to be a routine
Sami
episode
Zayn,
of WWE
that wasn't
Raw,
just an
but
attack.
backstage tensions
That was
were
a
simmering.
message.
Even
Cameras
AEW
caught
stars
Seth
weighed
Rollins
in his locker
Renee
room,
Paquette,
preparing
Dean's
for
wife,
his upcoming
tweeted,
match. He warned
unaware
you.
of what
Chris Jericho wrote, "Mox just made the biggest power move in wrestling history."